Now to an update on one of the greatest mysteries of the 1970s. Hijacker D.B. Cooper jumped out of a plane and was never seen again. 40 years later, this cold case is now warming up.
A man walked onto a plane with $20 in cash. 2 hours later, he jumped out with $200,000 strapped to his body and was never seen again. His name was D.B. Cooper, and this is the only unsolved hijacking in aviation history. What you're looking at isn't a movie character, it's a real person. A ghost, someone who pulled off the impossible and vanished into thin air. For over 50 years, the FBI hunted him, investigated 800 suspects, searched mountains and rivers, and came up empty-handed. Until they didn't. Because in 1980, a kid digging in the sand found something that changed everything. The impossible hijacking. November 24th, 1971, the day before Thanksgiving. Portland International Airport is buzzing with travelers heading home for the holidays. At the Northwest Orient Airlines counter, a man in a dark business suit approaches. Mid-40s, around 6 feet tall, black tie, white shirt. Nothing remarkable about him. He pays cash, $18.52 for a one-way ticket to Seattle, Flight 305. Just 30 minutes in the air. He writes a name on the ticket, Dan Cooper. Nobody knows this yet, but this ordinary-looking businessman is about to make history. 2:50 p.m., Flight 305 takes off. 36 passengers, 6 crew members. Routine flight. Cooper sits in the last row, orders a bourbon and soda, lights a cigarette, relaxed, calm. Then he does something that changes everything. He hands a note to flight attendant Florence Schaffner. She thinks it's a passenger hitting on her. Happens all the time. She pockets it without reading. But Cooper leans forward and whispers, "Miss, you'd better look at that note. I have a bomb." Schaffner opens the note. Her blood runs cold. "I have a bomb in my briefcase. I will use it if necessary. I want you to sit next to me. You are being hijacked." Cooper opens his briefcase just enough for her to see inside. Red sticks, wires, a battery. It looks like dynamite. His demands are precise: $200,000 in $20 bills, 4 parachutes, and fuel for the plane in Seattle. The pilot radios Seattle. The FBI scrambles. For 2 hours, Flight 305 circles Puget Sound while authorities gather the ransom. Here's what's chilling. Most passengers have no idea they're being hijacked. They think it's a mechanical delay. Cooper sits calmly, polite, professional, almost gentlemanlike. 5:24 p.m., the plane lands in Seattle. An airline employee delivers a canvas bag with $200,000, 10,000 $20 bills, plus 4 parachutes. Cooper does something brilliant here. He demanded 4 parachutes. Why? The FBI thinks he might take a hostage. They can't risk giving him dummy chutes. Every parachute has to work. This guy thought of everything. Cooper releases all 36 passengers, but he keeps the crew, the pilot, co-pilot, flight engineer, and 1 flight attendant, Tina Mucklow. Then he gives his next order. Fly to Mexico City. Keep the altitude below 10,000 feet. Keep the landing gear down, and keep the rear stairs extended. The leap into legend. 7:40 p.m., Flight 305 takes off from Seattle heading south. It's raining, cold, dark. The temperature outside is 7 below zero at 10,000 feet. Cooper orders the crew to stay in the cockpit. Tina Mucklow is the last person to see him. He ties the bag of money to his body, straps on a parachute, opens the rear air stair. The wind howls, the temperature drops, the plane shakes. Sometime around 8:13 p.m., somewhere over the wilderness of southwest Washington, Cooper jumps into the night, into a storm, into legend. The crew doesn't realize he's jumped until the plane lands in Reno. The rear stairs are still down. the cabin pressure changed. But Cooper, gone. The FBI had scrambled fighter jets to follow the plane, but they couldn't keep up at the slow speed Flight 305 was flying. By the time they realized Cooper had jumped, it was too late. The jump zone, a massive area of dense forest near the Lewis River in Washington. Mountains, trees, rivers. In the dark, in the rain, in freezing temperatures. And here's the terrifying part. Cooper jumped with a parachute that couldn't be steered, in street clothes, dress shoes, no survival gear. Most experts say there's no way he survived. But then why has nobody ever found a body? The hunt and the discovery. The FBI launched one of the biggest manhunts in American history, codename NORJAK, Northwest Hijacking. They searched the wilderness, helicopters, ground teams, over 1,000 troops. They used an SR-71 Blackbird spy plane to photograph the entire flight path. Nothing. They investigated 800 suspects over 5 years. DNA from the tie Cooper left on the plane, fingerprints, eyewitness descriptions, nothing matched. One suspect stood out, Richard McCoy Jr. 5 months after Cooper, he pulled off an almost identical hijacking, parachuted out with $500,000. The FBI arrested him, but McCoy didn't match the physical description. Plus, he was home with his family on Thanksgiving 1971. He couldn't be Cooper. Other suspects emerged over the years. Military veterans, skydivers, con men, each with compelling evidence, but none could be definitively proven. For 9 years, the case went cold. And then, February 10, 1980, a family is camping along the Columbia River near Portland. Their 8-year-old son, Brian Ingram, starts digging in the sand to make a fire pit. His shovel hits something. 3 bundles of rotted $20 bills, rubber bands still holding them together, buried just inches below the surface. The serial numbers match. It's Cooper's ransom money. $5,800, the first and only physical evidence found since the hijacking. But here's where it gets weird. The money was found miles away from where Cooper was supposed to have jumped. How did it get there? Theory 1. Cooper died on impact. His body and the money washed down the Columbia River over the years. Theory 2. Cooper survived, buried the money there himself. Theory 3. Someone else found the money and buried it. Recent scientific analysis of the bills revealed something shocking. Microscopic organisms called diatoms that only bloom in springtime. This means the money entered the water months after the hijacking, not on the night of the jump. So what happened during those missing months? Nobody knows. So did Cooper survive? Let's look at the evidence. Against survival. The parachute couldn't be steered. He jumped in a business suit and loafers. It was freezing, raining, pitch black. He jumped into dense wilderness. He had no survival gear. One of his parachutes was a training chute, sewn shut and impossible to use. No camping gear, tools, or supplies were ever found. Professional skydivers say this jump was basically suicide. For survival, the money shows he reached the ground. No body has ever been found. No parachute has ever been found. None of the remaining ransom money has ever appeared in circulation. Cooper seemed to know what he was doing. Precise demands, knowledge of aircraft. In 2016, the FBI officially closed the case. They said every lead has been exhausted, but the obsession didn't end there. Today, there's an entire community of D.B. Cooper investigators. They hold annual conventions, analyze FBI documents, search the wilderness. In 2023, something big happened. The children of Richard McCoy came forward with new evidence. They claimed their father was D.B. Cooper. They showed investigators a parachute hidden in their family's storage shed. The FBI is now re-examining the case. Cooper's legend lives on in movies, documentaries, books, and even a Netflix series. His hijacking changed aviation forever. Metal detectors at airports, mandatory baggage screening, and Cooper vanes, devices installed on Boeing 727s to prevent the rear stairs from opening mid-flight. D.B. Cooper didn't just hijack a plane, he hijacked our imagination. So, who was D.B. Cooper? Was he a criminal mastermind who pulled off the perfect crime? Was he a desperate man who died in the wilderness? Was he Richard McCoy, Robert Rackstraw, someone we've never heard of? We have one tie with potential DNA, $5,800 in rotting bills, eyewitness descriptions, a flight path, and a mystery that has haunted investigators for over 50 years. The truth is out there. Maybe buried under blackberry bushes, maybe at the bottom of the Columbia River, maybe in someone's attic, locked away in a family secret. People are still searching, still investigating, still hoping to solve the only unsolved hijacking in American history.
Is the answer. D.B. Cooper jumped into the darkness on November 24, 1971, and the darkness kept him. What do you think happened to D.B. Cooper? Did he survive? Drop your theories in the comments below. And if you want more unsolved mysteries like this, hit that subscribe button because we're just getting started. See you in the next one.